Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. Child, we made it, honey. This is the Real Housewives of Atlanta season finale. Child, let us just take a moment, honey, to praise him that we made it through this season. Oh, I'm so glad this is over, child. If you're here for the first time, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with an entertaining twist and a little bit of laughter. If you're here for a second or third time and you haven't subscribed yet, then please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. And if you watch the videos and you ain't interested, that's cool too. Honey, let's get into it as we get into it, okay? So when the scene first opens up, we see Candy. She's getting, awarded an entire day at Blaze. So there's going to be a Candy Burrs Tucker Day. And I think she deserves it, honey. Candy worked hard, child. She got 59,000 jobs, honey. Then we see Cynthia, and she's talking to Mike about potentially making Lake Bailey an Airbnb. Child, let me find out I can go stay at Lake Bailey and go eat at Blaze and then go to OLG and then go down to Bar 1 and then go to the Bailey Wine Cellar. Honey, let me make this a Real Housewives of Atlanta experience, okay? But, Cynthia, now, honey, I know they called y'all aunties at the beginning of this season, honey, but that wig is a no. Okay, that's a terrible wig, honey. It ages you at least 20 years. Oh, I hate that wig, child. Portia is over there speaking her speech about the Senate race, honey, getting her Portia Luther King on. And then we see Drew is trying to find shoes for her son to wear to see old daddy. Girl, stop calling this man old daddy. Girl, it just sounds crazy. All the way crazy. Apparently, his dad hasn't kept up his end of the parenting bargain. So him and Drew had they had a come to Jesus moment and they made an agreement and the dad isn't keeping up his end of the bargain. Drew made the day Josiah Day to make sure that he was happy, okay? So they go and they get something sweet. They get donuts. He gets cookies, whatever he wants to make him feel good. Now, I did appreciate that part. And so they're waiting for the dad to come, and they're waiting and waiting and waiting. And he's really, really late. And so Ralph is like, when we going to get on out of here? It's taking all day. And I feel like personally, this meeting, because it's been many years, it should have been done off camera for the first time. But then I thought about the fact that Candy made Riley go meet Block on camera. And nobody had anything to say about that. So I'm like, girl, reel it in, honey. So I thought back and I'm like, you know what, honey? Let him see old daddy on camera. Okay. Ralph starts to get impatient and then he shows up. And y'all know what? He kind of looks like Ralph. I was looking at him, got that same head shape, kind of flat in the back. And he looks just like his son. Drew definitely has a type. So she said, you know what? He was almost about to take a nap. Not he was about to take a nap, girl. Not he was about to stretch out at the bakery. Girl, if you don't go. Anyway, Ralph said, well, ask him what he's doing in town. He said, I'm not interested in that. I know that, baby. Listen, Josiah is an entire mood, honey. He says exactly what's on his mind. I don't know what his sign is, but baby, Josiah was not here for the niceties. He was like, I'm not interested in that. I want to eat my cookie. I want to eat my donut. I want to get my sugar rush. I want to go home and I want to do what I want to do. I don't want to talk to this man. And y'all stop giving me and feeding me things to ask him because I'm not interested. Child, so then he was like, well, I'm here for you. Child, Josiah was like, I don't give about none of that honey, about none of that he ain't care about none of it. Do you hear me? So then Drew talks to him about making sure he's present because Ralph and Josiah walk off to the side. So she's talking to him about making sure he's present and making sure that he's not letting him down. And so the dad said, his dad, because I'm not going to call him no old daddy, Josiah's actual birth father, said, you know what? My number one priority is being his father. And I want to make sure that I'm here for him. And they always say that, child. So, let's see if you show up, child. Anyway, over at Kenya's house, Kenya's therapist, Dr. Christie, makes a house call. And Kenya made a call of her own, honey, and got smooth embarrassed. Ugh, that Mark is just vicious. Kenya tells the therapist that Mark stays at her house when he comes and that he should ask if he could stay at her house. And then he just jumps in the bed like nothing has happened and gets ready to go to sleep. Like he's been living there the whole time. So she said Mark came and climbed into her bed like nothing had happened. And then she said Mark started, lying about wanting to make it work. Mark pretends to be nice so that he can drop all that you can drop all that court stuff, Kenya. That's just the bottom line. He wants you to get out of the court system and get him from being tied up with all these court dates. And so he's pretending to be nice to you, girl. The therapist said, well, you know what? I'm only getting your side. And so Kenya said, well, we can try and call him. Oh, Kenya, honey. Kenya tries to call and text Mark, but she's blocked, honey. The number you have reached, child, no answer. Mark is emotionally abusing this lady, honey. He's emotionally abusing you, Kenya. I mean, I know you put your claws out when it comes to the ladies, but honey, you need to use that same thing when it comes to him. Honey, if he don't do what she says, then he blocks her. Child, that's so childish, honey. Y'all toxic. If toxic was a couple, it would be Kenya and Mark. So then she said, I'm not sure if he's fighting for the family or what makes him happy. Honey, I think it's the latter. I think he's fighting for what makes him happy, and it definitely is not you. So then the therapist was like, are you sure you're blocked? She's like, yeah, I'm sure, because it went straight to voicemail and it's saying that my message isn't being delivered. So then Kenya said he wanted to come, because the therapist was like, well, why is this happening? So Kenya said, well, he wanted to come and cook just the three of us. And then he started asking me for sex. And I said, no, because we're not there yet. And then he blocked me. Oh, my goodness. So then Kenya calls from Brooklyn's phone. Honey, now Brooklyn got our own line, child. So she texts him and he says, look, Kenya, my friend got in an accident. I'm at the hospital. I can't answer. Boy, the state of New York is on extreme lockdown. You are not at anybody's hospital. And so Kenya texted him the same thing. She said, you're not allowed to go to the hospital. You're a liar. He's like, Kenya, leave me alone. I'm busy, honey. No, right now I'm busy. Child, he don't want to be bothered. So she was like, you know what? No more Mrs. Nice Guy. It's time for Keontae to come out and make an appearance, honey. The same way I treat these heifers is the way I'm starting to treat Mark. I know that's right, y'all. Finally, you're getting some sense. But we all know you're going to go back and say that Mark withdrew the papers and he started writing you love notes and do you love me? Check yes or no. Because you do that every time, honey. So let's move forward. And then so the therapist said, well, what you going to do, girl? I mean, because at some point you have to get off the roller coaster. And King is just sitting there looking blank. Over at the other side, Cynthia calls Kenya and tells her about the white elephant gift exchange she's throwing for her Friendsmas. Y'all know Cynthia gonna throw an event over at Lake Bailey on the hill if she don't do nothing else. So initially the limit was $100, but then she raised it to $1,000. Child, I need some rich friends. Honey, my friend's too broke. Honey, I need some rich friends, not $1,000 white elephant gift. So Kenya said, so we're seeing the ladies go around looking for their gifts, and here go Kenya talking about Drew has a Napoleon complex. Do y'all have any dog chains? Oh my goodness. I can't stand these women. They just sickening, honey. Cynthia and Mallory are over at Lake Bailey getting things together. And so Drew calls Portia and she's like, girl, I got cramps, child. Ralph went to go get me some Midol, so we're going to have to wait until 4 o'clock to leave. And so Portia was like, I'm not in no particular rush, honey, because I can't be bothered to be there on time anyway. LaToya texts Cynthia and tells her she can't make it because she's not in the mood to be playing with Drew. So then Cynthia was like, just come. So she assumed that LaToya wasn't coming. And then Marlo said that she can't make it either, honey, because she just got over her lipo, child. And so she needs to lay down. She needs to lay her back down. She didn't exactly say that, but I'm just assuming, okay? So Marlo said, I'm going to make sure I send my gifts. Then all of a sudden, in the next scene, we see these llamas show up. Oh, okay, Cynthia. Then Kenya, Shamia, and Candy show up. And the llamas were looking exactly how I felt, honey. Just as long in the tooth and straight-faced as they could be. So Candy, with her shady boo self, as soon as they come in, she's talking about, ooh, you got food. That's all I need for Christmas. Kenya, take notes. When someone comes to your house, have something for them to eat. Girl, because child, Candy gonna eat. If she don't do nothing else, Candy is gonna eat. Late Portia and Drew, child, they come when the sun goes down because they can't be bothered to show up on time. Cynthia is upset that Portia is always late, but y'all already knew this. Portia is always late. Marlo's gift shows up and then the ladies sit down and they get ready to eat because Candy's like, look, we're not about to wait around on them to get here. We about to eat, and we about to eat right now. Okay, they go over the rules and they choose numbers because at a white elephant Christmas party, what you do is you pick a number and then someone is eligible to steal that gift or they can keep it. And I mean, I didn't understand how they didn't know that. I guess if you've worked in like a corporate setting or in an office setting, then you've played white elephant before, because I mean, I didn't understand why they had to be explained the rules, but I guess. So anyway, Portia and her mullet, honey, because she had a little new hairstyle. Portia and her mullet and Drew showed up 3.5 hours late. Cynthia said, well, so they're sitting down there talking. Portia comes in, she turns around, does a little spin. Candy was like, is this what we was waiting for, honey? We was waiting 3.5 hours for you to put on this metallic dress and that mullet. Girl, if you don't come on in and have a seat, child, my green beans are getting cold. Anyway, after they get there, they sit down. And so Cynthia was like, well, you know what? I chose $1,000 because it's like me buying a good gift for myself. Like, I don't really do things for myself. Here go Portia. Girl, that wig you have on is over $1,000. Then Drew gonna say, can you ever have too many wigs? Drew, I knew something was about to go awry when you said something about them wigs. Girl, please be quiet, honey. You're not the one who can advocate for a wig. Honey, not many of y'all, child. I'm just saying. Please hush. So then they pick numbers. Portia picks number 1 and Drew picks number 2. They get all happy because they think that they've won, honey. They've hit the jackpot. Shamia was like, they really think that's good, child, honey. Y'all just don't know. That's the most terrible 2 numbers that you could have chosen. Anyway, Portia, when they sit down, Portia gets this Tiffany bracelet. Child, Cynthia was so excited when she opened. Cynthia was so excited when Portia opened that bag. Cynthia sat up real straight. Girl, not them Claire's bracelets, honey. I don't care if they come from Tiffany's or not. If they ugly, they ugly. Child, and Portia was not feeling it. Candy was tilted all over laughing because she couldn't believe that Portia had got those trinkets. Okay, but that's what you get for being late, Portia. I bet you won't do that no more. Drew picks Portia's gift. Okay, and it's Baccarat. Okay, honey, it's so rich I can't even pronounce it. Baccarat, honey. Bachelorette. I don't know what kind of perfume it is, but it begins with a B, and it's expensive. And a mini Gucci bag. Okay, that's how you do it, Portia. So Marlo, who is not there but sent a gift, she steals Drew's gift. Drew chooses another gift. Okay, because Drew had the perfume and everything, so then Drew had to choose something else because Marlo, who the assistant was taking Marlo's place, and he stole Drew's gift from her. So after that, Drew picked another gift, and it was a bunch of different champagnes or wines, honey. Mal got the employee discount, the 5-finger employee discount, and she brought this wine. Child, them sisters can't give a gift to save their life, child. Anyway, Shamia then chooses her gift, and Candy gifted her the new iPhone 12. See, that's what I'm talking about. Baby, Candy does it big. Whatever she does, honey, she does it big. Cynthia picks a gift, and it's $1,000 in cash. Look, now, if any of y'all are rich out there and y'all want to be my BFF, honey, once I get on, you gonna get on. Let's exchange $1,000 white elephant gifts. So Candy gets diamond earrings from Kenya. And she was like, why would you give me diamond earrings? And so she's like, well, they're valued at $5,000. Portia gonna say, anybody can set a value. What is wrong with them? So anyway, Kenya was like, it ain't tricking if you got it. Girl, you done heard that on a song. Okay, child. Kenya chooses Shamia's gift, which is the Chanel pendant. So then Kenya's gift gets stolen. And so now Drew's gift is the only gift that is left, honey. And that is a disaster. So when she opens it, it's a pet carrier and a wig. Child, Kenya threw that wig right on the floor, honey, as she should. Drew said, well, that's $1,000 wig. Candy said, that's $1,000 wig? Because y'all know Candy be so dry, child. The girls, they all agree, honey, that this is not $1,000 worth of hair. Child, that's that hair from the hair store. Honey, I know a hair store wig when I see one. Okay? Drew said, this is the wig y'all were so obsessed with. So Kenya continued to open the gift up, but she had a knife in her hand because she was opening it. So Drew walks over to her and Kenya said, look, please, Drew, do not walk up on me. So here go, Drew. Well, watch it with that knife, Miss Ma'am. Girl, you are walking up on this lady. Now listen, on this channel, let me just give a disclaimer because every time I got to say this because it's always going to be somebody that says, we hate Kenya. We hate Portia. We hate Drew. That ain't going to happen over here with me. I'm going to tell you what I like, what I don't like. If it's funny, it's not. These people come together as a collective to create a show. Everybody has a little bit of something. Do I like some more than others? Absolutely. But I thought that was hilarious. Okay. Kenya gets out this boombox. Child, honey, she gave it. So Portia's sitting there with it, child, and the assistant don't even know what to do with it because Kenya done got up and walked away after she saw that Drew had gifted her or re-gifted her that wig. And that's disgusting, honey, and unsanitary. Giving that girl a wig you've already worn, child. Anyway. So Shamia said, well, how did Kenya get that gift? And so Drew was like, well, that's what happens. You know, that's what happens when it's God, honey. That was nothing but God. So Candy said, you bringing God into this? And then Candy said, well, where did you get this vintage boombox, honey? We used to play escape records on this thing, child. Honey, that's where you record the top 4 at 4 on the radio station, child, with that kind of boombox. Ooh, Drew, honey, just tacky. So they play the tape, right? This tape is just the prophet saying that he liked Drew. Girl, what? So this was the big reveal. This is what you were waiting on everyone to hear. This man saying that he liked LaToya. Oh, Drew, honey. That was the biggest epic fail. Anywho, Drew gave a $100 donation to the Humane Society. She's still keeping on with this gag gift. Girl, where's your $1,000, honey? If you need to borrow something from Candy, just say that. If you ain't cashed that check that the Real Housewives have given you, then just say that. Honey, if it's because you just bought that house and you're not able to afford this $1,000 present, then just say that. Because the thing is, I don't mind a good gag gift. I'm all for it. Gag away. But first of all, how did you know Kenya was going to be the recipient of said gift? Secondly, why would you not get a gag gift, but in addition to get something else that equals $1,000? So Portia looked at her and she said, you still gonna give it $1,000 gift though, right? Drew gonna say, well, that hair is worth $1,000. Oh my God. Okay, girl. So Candy said, I would have been pissed if I got that fucking wig. I'm just telling you right now, honey, Candy is hot. Because first of all, Candy spent her hard-earned money, and Kenya is her friend. So y'all already know that rubbed her the wrong way. And so she looking at Drew upside her head. Candy said, do you understand what he's saying? All he's simply saying on that recording is that he likes her, and he understands that she's going through a divorce because he's been there. So then Drew said, I understand if you don't want the truth. Baby, what she say that for, honey? When she said, I understand if you don't want the truth, Candy said, it's not about the truth. Because y'all know when Candy get real mad, she started talking real strong, honey, and pronouncing each syllable in her word. Child, Candy said, it's not about the truth. Kenya said, you're a narc. Candy said, what are you doing? Kenya said, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Child, I'm not finna play with y'all, honey. Please do not interrupt Candy when she finally starts piping up. Because y'all already know, Candy, when she gets mad, honey, she hardly ever says anything. But when she does say something, she wants the people to listen, okay? Just then the doorbell rings, and Candy mad about that too. She's like, who is that? And the reason why I think she said that is because I think she thought that Drew was going to be crazy enough to bring Pastor or Prophet Lot. That's what I really thought. Because when I first watched it, because I watched it twice. When I first watched it, I said, why is Candy all up in arms? But I guess she was like, honey, you don't know what to expect from these heifers. So I'm just saying, child. I'm just saying. Anywho, so just then LaToya shows up. And so Portia said, oh, LaToya prophesized when to show up. She sure did. Kenya said, Drew brought some stupid recording, honey, and trying to tell us that you and the prophet been getting it popping. Drew said, LaToya has brought some drama into my life. Girl, that man in his private life is not drama in your life. Girl, you're being a weirdo at this point. So LaToya tells her to shut up. Drew tells her, you weren't looking for God. You were looking for some D. And so then LaToya said, well, your man looking for some P, honey, element of P. So then she was like, because yours is all dried up. Ooh, child, the ghetto. Then LaToya said, your man in Florida begging women and looking for women that look like me. Honey, not he begging women that look like you. Kenya said, don't even argue, honey. So they go over to the side, LaToya and Kenya. Kenya was like, don't even argue with her. She's a narc. LaToya said, yeah, a narcissist. Kenya said, no, a narc. LaToya said, same thing. Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right. Kenya said, no, a narcissist is a person with a personality disorder, and a narc is somebody who will lie on you in drug enforcement. Honey, both of y'all are wrong. A narc is a federal agent or a police officer who enforces the laws when it comes to the sale of drugs and narcotics, honey. Oh, my goodness. Kenya, girl gone. Drew on the couch saying, if you are a whore, then you need to move like a whore. Then Portia gonna say, well, we all have had a little fun now, honey, because we know you gonna say so, because we know allegedly you had a little fun with Bolo, so we know you gonna take up for LaToya in that point. Cynthia said, well, what that got to do with you? Because we all trying to figure out what it got to do with you. Drew said, well, you know what? She was praying on the prophet, and that's not okay. Well, child, when she said that, Candy had a dang on enough, honey. Candy said, you keep blaming her for a grown man's behavior. If he dated her, it's because he wanted to. And y'all know I told you she hit y'all with that strong voice when she gets upset. So Drew said, Drew was just looking so scared, child. She wasn't expecting Candy to pipe up. Drew said, well, when it involves me and my children, I'm going to speak up about it. Girl, this does not involve you and your children. Girl, if you don't get your mama to do this blessing and hush, girl, this is the thing here, okay, because this is getting on my nerves. The bottom line is, when Drew first stepped on the scene, I was like, oh, poor Drew, because Kenya and LaToya originally, right off the bat, came for her. Okay, that is the truth. LaToya did start this mess. Honey, you should have left her alone. Okay, you should have left her and her wig alone. You came for her. Drew has not yet let it go. Although she smiles and acts like everything's okay, she has not let it go. So now you're just coming up with this whole profit thing because you still pissed about this girl and this wig. Girl, just call it what it is. Kenya in the other room talking about taking all the wine, honey. She's like, she ain't bring nothing, so she ain't leaving with nothing. I agree with you on that. Takes the wine, puts it in a car. Portia said, well, girl, I don't even know what you're talking about because people are saying they're not even engaged. Here go Drew lying. When he moved to Texas, then she said the engagement was off because she couldn't trust him. Okay, girl. Well, you just said on last episode that LaToya and him got together when he moved to Texas. So that would mean that his engagement was off. So you lied about her breaking up the engagement. Girl, it's a whole lie, child. Girl, gone, honey. This is just crazy. Anyway, so Cynthia said, well, when did he propose, child? Because y'all getting on Cynthia's nerves. Drew said, years ago. It takes people years. They could be engaged for years. Drew, just let it go. LaToya came back in and said, I'm going to get my profit. Listen, LaToya, stop antagonizing this girl, child, because we just want her to shut up. Drew said, if you're with the prophet, just admit you're with the prophet. So then LaToya says, girl, shut up. Threw that used wig, honey, and Drew jumped up, her undergarments showing and all, and got ready to kick her, fight her, punch her lights out, or whatever she was about to do, child. LaToya starts jumping on Cynthia's couch. Y'all ain't got no home training. You do not put your feet on people's couch, okay? You don't jump on people's couch. Drew, you looking crazy, breaking up everything in Cynthia's house. LaToya, you looking crazy because you jumping on this woman's couch. So, it's just ridiculous. So then Cynthia said, you know what, y'all got to get out. LaToya's outside dancing to the carolers that just mysteriously showed up. And then it was over, child. And that is the end. If y'all hear some noise in my background, please excuse that. I'm not sure what is happening on the outside, but there is an alarm going off, honey. They probably sounded the alarm so that this review can end because we all know we don't care about nothing that they got going on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. And please do not hesitate to share this video with a friend. We have made it through season 12 or 13 or whatever season it was. Child, I'm just glad we made it through. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.